Strengthening security in Kurdish areas, the Jeffrey Epstein case endangering women, Illinois taking action against Trump, and yet it's going to be another cold weekend. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, Tran, with your latest WNKT news, sports, and weather, sponsored by Geico. In our top story, security forces affiliated with Syria's interior ministry continued Tuesday to deploy in Kurdish-dominated areas in northeastern Syria as a part of an agreement between Damascus and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces. Under the deal, small contingents of security forces reporting to the interior ministry will enter Kurdish-majority areas. Conflict after conflict. Israeli strikes pounded Gaza on Wednesday, killing at least 21 Palestinians, and further rocking a fragile ceasefire deal. Israel said it was responding to a militant attack on Israeli soldiers that seriously wounded one. Deadly Israeli strikes have repeatedly punctuated the truce since it came into effect on October 10th. Moving into the land of the so-called free, a deal was reached between lawyers for victims of Jeffrey Epstein and the Justice Department to protect the identities of nearly 100 women whose lives were allegedly harmed after the government began releasing millions of documents last week. Among 8 women, one said the records release was life-threatening, while the other said she'd gotten death threats. From protecting identities to desperate pleas, the Washington Post is laying off 1/3 of its staff in the newsroom and other departments. The staff reduction is a significant blow at the Post, known in history books for its Watergate revelations and most recently for aggressive coverage of President Donald Trump's cutbacks to the federal workforce. In the Prairie State, Illinois is joining the World Health Organization and Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network independently after President Donald Trump fully withdrew the United States from the organization in January. Trump announced that the U.S. would be leaving WH on the first day of his second term in 2024. The withdrawal was completed a year later. Over in the Windy City, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is defending a new executive order aimed at holding federal immigration agents criminally responsible for misconduct on the job, but he declined to say if he would push for police to investigate any high-profile incidents. Stay tuned to find out more about the NFL after the break. You know what's faster than making coffee, waiting for the light to turn green, or even deciding what to watch tonight? Getting a car insurance quote from Geico. In fact, you could save 15% or more on car insurance in just 15 minutes. No awkward phone calls, no complicated paperwork, just few questions, a few clicks, and you're on your way, possibly with more money in your pocket. So ask yourself, what are you doing for the next 15 minutes? Scrolling, waiting, listening to the DeKalb Regional Showcase? Perfect. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO and see how much you could save. And welcome back to your WNKT Sports. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell addressed questions about Bad Bunny possibly making a political statement during the Super Bowl LX halftime show. Last year, Bad Bunny was chosen as the Super Bowl halftime show performer, despite his scathing criticism of ICE. Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs Tricia McLaughlin said last month that federal officials were committed to working with local and state law enforcement to keep the Super Bowl safe. Over in the Olympics, Lindsey Vonn's decision to compete in alpine skiing at the Milan Cortina Olympics, despite a torn ACL, is risky but not unexpected. Vonn, who came out of retirement to earn a spot on the U.S. Olympic team at age 41, crashed in a World Cup downhill event in Switzerland on Friday. Switching gears, let's blow our way into the weather forecast for DeKalb, Illinois. Today will be mostly cloudy with a high of 31 degrees. As these clouds carry into the night, the temperature will drop to a chilling 26 degrees. And don't forget your umbrellas because Friday is expected to have a freezing rain in the morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening in to your WNKT News Minute, brought to you by Geico. I'm your host, Tran, signing off.